Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, spiders and ants,
Freaking fresh.
welcome to another amazing episode of We Should Have Been Done This,
Long
the
time ago.
podcast, long time ago as well. The
We're gonna add that to
podcast,
the
We
title.
Should Have Been Done This
A long time ago.
or we should have. I am Shaun Manning. This is
Jason Jamerson.
what's going on, man? How's your week?
Oh man, it's going fantastic, baby.
That was it
What?
for your week. That was it.
It's going fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going good.
Well, no, I have a slight bone to pick. I just wanted to make sure you got your mental health checkout. You good?
Oh, I mean, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
good.
You
Well,
know,
I'm not. Well, I'm not. Because you came in here with homemade pancakes.
Listen,
with,
man.
With peach toppings.
So listen,
And nothing for your boys.
because I told you,
This is the thanks I get?
I'm not trying to, this is my first time making pancakes from scratch in years.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta make sure I still got it before I bring some in. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to bring them in here. You take a bite and you just be like, what is this trash you have bestowed upon my taste buds? And then I'm just over here, Jason can't cook pancakes when I'm generally regarded as a pancake ape everywhere around. And everybody else, everybody who tried my pancakes, they know.
Ape?
The pancake ape.
Ape.
Pancake ape, yep.
The pancake ape.
Yeah, the pancake
What
ape.
about that is a ringing endorsement to delicious pancakes?
Oh, because
Ape is not known for
it's called
meticulous or vanilla extracting or the mixing of anything. So hey, please.
So
Is it because of your size and stature
first
as a
of
man?
all, that is racist.
That's what was it white people that said you
No,
were a pancake ape?
no,
They were not white.
no.
They were black people.
So it started off. You know what I'm saying? I had made some pancakes, and they was like, Jason, go crazy with the pancakes.
What year is this? Because you said it had been some years.
It's been some years since I made them from scratch. Yes,
Okay.
but I was a pancake ape before. Well, shoot, I got nominated the pancake ape, won the Aunt Your Mama Golden Spatula at the Pancake Flip Off in 2008, 9, and 10. So yeah, I was a pancake ape, right? Like 08, 09 is when I started. When I was regarded as a pancake ape.
So just almost 15 years ago.
Is when it first started.
15 years ago.
That's when I got the title. Yes.
How old are you now?
That's neither here nor there.
Oh, okay.
Because the fact that I'm still the pancake ape since then, that just rings that holds true and rings volumes.
And were they still warm?
No, these were not. No, these were not.
So that lessens my vitriol slightly.
Yeah,
because they were not hot.
Now they may have been if my remote start would work on my vehicle right now, but I had to go in there. I had to do that little thing. We just the frost on the windshield. You just got to get that little peephole out, looking like I'm going to a speakeasy or something like that. Like, what's the password? It's like I got to be at work in 15 minutes, and then I just took off. But it was the pancakes were not.
Well, per the algorithms, it's some little thing the size of a cone. And that thing scrapes with the best of them.
I didn't have time.
Now that I'm speaking, I'm sure that my phone will pick it up again and then I'll send it to you. But they say it's a one swiper, back and forth, and you're clear.
I ain't got the time. I didn't have the time this morning. I didn't know it was that frosty because I thought it was supposed to be warmer today.
Speaking of time, watch how I put this in. Do the Eagles still have time to be the leader in the NFC?
I didn't even get to the origins of the pancake cake.
No, because it's fine. We'll save that. We'll save that for next time.
Fine.
We'll save that for next time.
Well, you hear this? Y'all, he teased you with the story and then to cut the story off.
We'll save it for next time.
So y'all gonna have to get in the comments and remind him to get me to tell the story of the pancake cake.
Do the Eagles still have time to be the leaders and the dominant team that they were? They got the Cowboys coming up.
They got the Cowboys coming up.
Cowboys 9-3.
Listen, let me tell you something.
The Cowboys are 9-3.
Cowboys 9-3. This week of
Eagles
football coming
10-2.
up. Yeah, yes. This week of
an
football
important game for the NFC.
Not even that game.
What are the lines?
This week is the most important week of the season so far
for the NFC.
For the NFC,
because obviously, currently the Ravens, they just kind of have it.
Yeah, the AFC. They tied with the Dolphins. Technically, the Dolphins are number one right now.
The Ravens and the Dolphins.
They got the same record, but
have they played each other?
No, and I'm not sure if they play each other unless they get to the playoffs. I gotta think of their schedule. But Dolphins play the Cowboys. I think they play the Cowboys on.
Oh, that'd be another big one too.
Yeah, but this week The implications of this NFC,
because the Lions are
9-3.
The San Francisco
9-3.
Dallas Cowboys
9-3.
and then
we got the Eagles.
And there's only one team or one game where they both play each other. So what I'm saying is that the Lions could become 10-3, the 49ers could become 10-3.
At the end of this week,
and
everybody could be 10-3.
Wow.
At the end of this week, everybody would be 10-3.
But they say it was all good just a week ago.
Yeah. And by default, it would go Niners, Eagles, Lions, Cowboys. Cowboys, as long if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys, because the Cowboys and the Eagles got the same record and they're in the same division, I think it goes to division wins or conference wins.
That's going to be.
And since the Cowboys have their 3 losses from, actually no, they made who did the Cowboys all lose to? They lost to the
Philadelphia.
They lost to Philly. They lost to. Because I think it's first it goes division losses, then it goes conference losses, then it goes like points. Now I got to.
That's why it's here.
Handy dandy.
But while you're doing that, you're working on that. We have to talk about, as I mentioned it weeks before, Jalen Hurts. What is the issue? Clearly, he has the arm strength.
Right.
Clearly, he has the athleticism to get up out of the pocket. He has the arm strength to throw any ball. He's there, as far as I'm concerned, he can make all the throws. So what is going on with somebody so talented to have this deer in headlights mentality randomly throughout games? The man is the king of the push tush. So he's not afraid of contact.
Yes. So before I get to that, just real quick, the Eagles would be ahead of them because the Cowboys lost to 3 conference teams, whereas the Eagles lost to the Jets and 2 conference teams.
So based off of your sayings, real quick, based off of your sayings in these conference games, would you then have the Cowboys being better than the Eagles? Because you always say you never know when the conference game, anything can happen.
No, you never know in the division game. Division game, when you're playing the teams that you play twice a year, every year, like that, like the Cowboys and the Eagles,
like the Giants and the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah,
I mean, but they barely lost.
The Giants just completely sucked this year.
But they barely lost to the Eagles. Was it by less than a touchdown?
To the Cowboys?
Yeah.
They
barely. The Cowboys barely lost to the Eagles by a touchdown.
Which, I mean, if it's 2 good teams playing against each other, like that's where everybody was like, oh, the Lions should have demolished the Packers. Then the Packers went ahead and beat the Lions, and then they beat the Chiefs. So it's like, you
hottest team in the league.
What happened to your own hottest team in the league? They cooled off, huh?
The power of C.J. Stroud and Russell threw 3 interceptions.
I see you're an Ohio State fan.
No, that's not how this happens. Red is the favorite
Ohio
color.
State. You heard it here, Michigan.
That's
anybody watching this from the state of Michigan, he's an Ohio State fan. He's wearing the colors.
So are you.
I am not.
Yes, they have a jersey that exact color.
This is actually the Chicago Bulls color.
No. I mean, yes. But they're also,
it's also the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Who else? Like Cincinnati Reds?
The Cincinnati Reds.
Depending on the game, Detroit Red Wings.
The Red Wings. I'm sure they have an alternate jersey. That
Chicago Blackhawks.
I think
they are black
and red.
You think so?
And then the Chiefs have an alternate jersey that's black as well.
Oh, okay. So this would not be.
That is for sure what they call it, scarlet and gray.
I guess the gray doesn't make it kind of tough for me to say anything.
Yeah.
But to the divisions.
Yeah, so it would be Eagles. No, it would be Niners because the Niners beat the Eagles. Then it'll be the Eagles. Then it'll be the Lions. And then it'll be the Cowboys because the Cowboys, you can't be a top 2 seed and in second place in your division because the top 4 seeds. Actually, no, Cowboys will still be number 5 because the top 4 seeds automatically go to division leaders.
So who's the other team?
It's either Tampa Bay or New Orleans.
Because it should be in the playoffs right now. Who knows what could happen in the next couple of weeks? But right now, it would be those 4 teams as far as
the best.
And that would probably be some fantastic football.
For sure.
And that's what the fans want to see anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Based off of record, they deserve it. Based off of talent, they deserve it. But those are the 4 best teams.
Then you get them situations where a team sneaks into the playoffs on a hot streak, like the New York Giants that year, and they got to the playoffs 8-8 and won the Super Bowl.
Or like young Joe Flacco
Exactly.
When he went out with a bang.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Jerome Ford.
He just
did what he was supposed to do in my parlay, but you know who didn't? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Standing there like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. This kind of going into, I don't even know if this is going to be a topic today, going to them parlays. Them parlays will get you to really dislike a person.
It will.
And a team.
And that's why usually I don't look at it. I pick them, and then on the following day, I just look. Oh, $30,000. Okay. Or nothing again. Yeah, and again. But I made the mistake and I looked.
I'll be looking to see what went wrong, and I just be like, you needed 1 touchdown, 2 yards.
Yeah. And I looked, and I saw everything Jerome Ford scored. The wide receiver for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Puka, was it? Puka Nakua. He scored and actually mauled randomly and ran 20 miles an hour. Everybody, it was a 13 or 15 play parlay. Everybody did their job. And then when I look at
Jalen Hurts,
and then it reminded me of when I was watching the game innocently as a fan, and I see him just standing, and he's just
almost like
he just let it rip.
Like he thinks that ball is his. Like he don't want to give it to nobody. No,
fire
mine,
pigskin. Let it rip. And more importantly, because that's the job. Let it rip or take off.
Or take off. That's my thing.
But he has the wide receivers.
And I have the theory. That theory of
what his issue is?
His issue is? Yes. And I feel like it's the same issue that Lamar has and any other rushing quarterback that can run that ultimately gets paid money. They tell them to stop playing their game as they used to play it, because once you pay them that money, they want you.
But that's why they pay them the money.
That's why, which is stupid to me. Because like you pay him the money because he's so dynamic, he can do this, he can do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you know that is a risk, because you know Michael Vick never played a full season. He also didn't have the arm that a lot of these quarterbacks have today.
Well, no,
like
he had the
power.
Arm. He didn't have
the accuracy. Right. So they get paid all this money. Like, all right, we got to protect our investment. We're trying to get you to be our quarterback for years to come.
Right.
So with that being the case, we need you to throw the ball more. Don't put yourself in more situations where you're going to get hurt or can get hit if you don't have to. And now all of a sudden they're turning into pocket passers and whatnot. They're holding on to the ball. They could take off, but they're going to get hit or something like that.
But then just slide. Like, wow. It's usually when people get rocked quarterback-wise, it's either in the pocket or it's those extra yards. Like, for example, was it 2 years ago when Dak got hurt and his foot was, all over? Like, it was those extra yards, which I get it. They're ultimate competitors. You do what you got to do.
It's the extra yards. But
standing in the pocket is going to get you hit as well. If you look at Trevor Lawrence, his own teammate stepped on his ankle standing in the pocket. Now, granted, I think that was only the 2-3 second drop back, so it wasn't like he was standing there for a lot of time.
Yeah.
Just the pass rush was too dominant. Yeah. But and they pushed his his lineman back on him. But like watching other quarterbacks, I've been watching football my whole life, but just watching, and he's standing.
Yeah, he was. I literally saw him walk into the arms of a defender.
Yeah, like just standing.
His eyes were downfield, but he was moving to the side. And I was like, what is he doing?
And I don't want to, because, there would be some of other ethnicities that would say, we don't read defenses well. And I don't think that's the issue. But there's clearly something, because he has all the talent in the world, and was a quarterback for Alabama, had some success there. Went to Oklahoma. Was it Oklahoma he went to? No. Mm-hmm. Went to Oklahoma.
And then you got Swift and Gainwell having to go out of the backfield. Somebody, in theory, should be open.
Or the fact that he could take off running.
Or that too. But even with that, though, it's like, you're still you got all these people who are, that in theory, somebody should get open at some point.
Yeah.
You're not getting pressure.
Let it.
For you to be standing there that long and nobody gets open, they don't even have to be open. Nobody has an opportunity. You can't put the ball up there for anybody to have the opportunity to earn their paycheck.
To the guys in the box that are commentating, they're saying it's just him holding it. Like, even they're seeing it, so he's got people. I mean, you got to throw him open. And I've seen him make some incredible throws. So I don't think it's that, but maybe it is a matter of confidence. And maybe some of those incredible throws are just,
maybe he can't handle the pressure.
Pressure, cook up. It could
maybe.
be. I mean, it is.
For them to
old boy?
lose the way they did,
because we did talk about it. Who's old boy? The other guy next to Bosa, the guy from the Reds, the Commanders.
Chase Young.
I mean, but even then, the protection
was there. I'm talking about like the pressure of playing in a big game of that caliber. Because that game was going to determine where the transfer of power in the NFC went. And granted, everybody stays healthy. The 49ers may be the best team in the NFC.
If we go back, now I don't know if my editing talents are there yet, but if we go back to episode 1, I did speak on that Purdy effect. But even he has his own flaws.
Yeah,
is when everyone he needs his team
he needs a perfect
in order to flourish.
He needs a perfect situation because they didn't win. What did they say? The whole month of every game they played in October, November when they won that losing streak.
October, I believe.
They had their bye week and then they didn't win no games. So it's like
everybody was out.
They went a month without winning. So it's like So it's no team is perfect. There's no 100% perfect team, and every time we think there is, they play a team and we be like, what the heck just happened?
Like how your Lions lost to the Packers. When it mattered, who they should have beat, and then what they should have done to New Orleans, they were doing, and then let them come back. They let them come back. Annihilate.
Who is going to win?
Annihilate.
Who's going to win 72-0? Period. First of all, the Dolphins scored 72. The Broncos scored whatever they scored. But
it happens.
It was, you know what they say? They say you get up early, it gives the other team a lot more time to come back.
If the Eagles, no, because then the play calls change, people get comfortable.
And so here's the other thing too. Now, I will say,
run the bag up.
I will say this.
Run it up.
I say this all the time. I say I don't understand why the Lions just don't score all the time. They can score.
They started.
If I am a coach and I have that kind of talent and they can score whenever they basically when they needed to score. When they needed to score, they scored. It was like, all right, we'll just hold the lead. They're coming back, let's score. They hold the lead, let's score. It's like
comfort.
If I'm coaching, we're scoring 42 points, and then we're taking the foot off a little bit if we're still up 3 touchdowns.
When the game is over, that is when we stop playing football. Because you've seen it happen. I'm going to tell you where you didn't see it happen. In New England is where you didn't see it happen. If we were running it up, we were running it up. You didn't see it in Miami. We were running it up. Well, not we as in me, but you run it up. As it happened to Dan Campbell. And what did he say? We couldn't stop him.
Yeah, he said we don't.
He understands.
He said we don't want them to score. Stop them scoring.
So they went down the field easily.
To be fair, them first 3 they scored. Had a short field, like they said. They 2 scoring drives. 3 of their first 2 scoring drives were within. Would you let me talk, Carol? Would you let me talk? Would you let me talk? 2 out of their first 3 scoring drives. Not saying they weren't able to drive down the field. They didn't want to, because clearly they did when they wanted to. But the first 2 out of 3 of their scoring drives were within like the other already on the other side of the field, within the 30 yards. Like I think the first scoring drive was within 17 yards off of that Brian Benton, which was an incredible interception. Yeah. I saw that. I thought he was picking it up off the ground. I was like, oh, he caught that. And then the other one, they had the ball already within within 30 yards to score the touchdown. So they had short fields 2 out of them first 3. After that, yes, they started baloneying around, whatever. I said, I don't know what they were doing. They just stopped running the ball. Gibbs wasn't running as much.
And then the foot, keep it on, keep it.
And honestly, people were talking about the Lions defense. I'm like, all right, because they were saying that, the defense would let them come back and all this stuff.
Yeah, because everybody was
But I wouldn't even say it was that. You got to look at one.
Kamara hasn't scored a touchdown since October. He scored 2.
You can't not. He's going to score at some point.
No, is it not? It doesn't mean he has to score against Detroit.
At some point, he's going.
It doesn't mean he has to score against.
Well, when Derek Carr ain't throwing the ball, they're going to run the ball. So at some point,
it doesn't mean he has to score against Detroit.
They still lost, so it doesn't matter.
Again, it's how it's happening. They have to have that mentality. First quarter until zeros are on the clock.
It's the third quarter. The Lions got the third quarter blues because it was 24-3 or 24-7 at halftime.
They better fix it.
For whatever. I don't know what it is in the third.
Fix it.
Now, I will say, I was satisfied but not impressed with Bruce Irvin until I looked and saw that he only played 11 snaps. You know, he's getting back into it. But out of those 11 snaps, 2 of them snaps, he touched the quarterback.
Conditioning.
One of them was an actual sack. The other one was, you know, in my opinion, good old school football. But oh no, you can't put your whole body on the quarterback when you hit him. Well, get out the way then.
Okay. Well, speaking of, we were talking about the Lions and who had beaten them last week, and the Packers have also beat
the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
The Chiefs.
So we're going to swing on over to the AFC and speak on them briefly. Is just a hot Green Bay team, or what is wrong with the Chiefs, and can it be fixed?
So,
because I've been saying it for weeks. Should they be where they should be in the rankings? Well, not as much because they've lost 2 games since then. But it's not.
I'm gonna
it's
say
not the same, which makes it even. It takes even more away from that Lions win. But go ahead.
So I got something for all things you just said.
Okay.
Starting with the Chiefs, because when we get back to the Lions, I got more to say.
We're not going back to the Lions.
All right, well then let's start with the Lions. Then.
No.
Because this is the Green Bay.
We're on the AFC.
You talked about Green Bay. You said, is it a hot Green Bay team, or is it something that happened with the Lions?
We're on the AFC.
Yeah, it's the AFC game that happened last week. It's the Chiefs and the Packers, and you said the Packers beat the Lions.
The Chiefs done?
Well, to answer that question,
AFC wise,
to answer that question, yes, he has nobody to throw the ball to.
Saying Travis started dating that girl, he ain't got the energy no more.
Yeah, he better break up with her so she can have another album and he can just do what he can do. Mm-hmm. But Rashee Rice is the only other person that he can throw the ball to, and really he not that guy yet. But you know, we got Valdez Scantling, who is just Valdez Scantling, Sky Moore, who is Kadarius Toney, like. Unless the Monstars came and took their powers for some reason, and they need to get them back, there's no way that Kansas City is beating a team with a good defense. They're not beating the Ravens. They're not beating They're gonna mess around and lose to the Bengals without Joe Burrow.
They looked all right.
That's gonna be the problem. The problem is gonna be the Chiefs. They can't score points like they used to.
They cannot run that score up. No.
They can't run the score up no more. So since they can't
and the
score,
defense isn't what it should be.
The defense isn't what it should be. So the Ravens are going to beat them. I think the Bengals could probably beat them. Shoot, they mess
obviously
around.
The Bills could beat anybody. It just depends on which Josh Allen shows up.
Right. Well, the Bills aren't even in playoff contention right now.
And then even with Josh Allen, it's more a fourth quarter thing than it is like the whole game. He all right. Then the fourth quarter comes. It's close.
Yeah. The Bills, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills, 6-6? They are not in the playoffs right now.
And then this might be it because I don't see Diggs hanging around because I'm doing my job.
I think for Diggs, the Super Bowl a bust. Like
we better
win a ring or else
I'm doing my job. Here. He's not doing his.
Yeah. So,
AFC,
yeah, I think the Chiefs are done. I don't think they're.
So you just have them, the Ravens and Miami at the top, or you put them in whatever order you want.
I think if it's me saying this right now, if everybody stays healthy the way it is, and this is without Mark Andrews too, the Ravens should not have an issue getting to the Super Bowl in the AFC.
So they don't play Miami again. You think they can beat Miami like that?
I think they can beat Miami.
Who gonna guard?
Lesser teams have beat Miami. So I think
that was weeks ago.
That was weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago? What are you talking about?
Who beat them 2 weeks ago?
I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, but they have 3 losses, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
Everybody has 3 losses.
Everybody has 3 losses. But the fact that they got 3 losses, like the Bills beat them.
Get them out the way early.
The Bills beat them early. The Eagles beat them.
Two good teams.
And the Ravens are a good team, and that's been the knock on the Dolphins. They can't beat the good team. They've been fully healthy.
Jalen Ramsey was hurt.
This guy.
So you got Ravens at the top of the AFC. Ravens at the top of the AFC. You have 49. What do you have? The 49ers.
Oh, as far as the best team in the NFC?
Right, because you got the Ravens. So we'll just go Ravens, Dolphins. Listen. Are you going to put anybody at third for the AFC?
It's really just them.
I mean, you have Trevor Lawrence hurt.
Trevor Lawrence is hurt. It's like it's like the Chiefs by default because
they're the Chiefs. I mean, he is still Mahomes. So
he's Mahomes. It's like, all right, do you trust the Steelers or do you not trust the Steelers? Okay. So, do you trust the Bengals with a backup quarterback? Okay. Do you trust Trevor Lawrence or the Jaguars with a backup quarterback? The Bills aren't even in playoff contention. So Cleveland.
So we'll go 3 teams.
With like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the AFC is
Ravens,
like
Dolphins, Chiefs.
If the Ravens don't make the Super Bowl, if it's not Ravens Dolphins in the AFC Championship,
barring injury, any more injury,
yeah. If it's like just the way it is, if it's not Dolphins Ravens in the AFC Championship, something went terribly wrong, and then everybody's gonna be losing money.
In the NFC, you have
as far as best teams right now.
Yeah, we'll just go as far as the top 4 because that would be who would be. I mean, from the divisions anyway.
We didn't talk about the top 4 anyways because you can't. The NFC South is not a division that you can put as a top team because it's the Falcons. What is it? It's either Falcons, Buccaneers, or
Panthers,
the Saints, and the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's a bad division.
It is.
So you can't even like if you're talking about the 4 best teams in the NFC, you can't put nobody from the NFC South.
So it's all the teams with 3 losses.
All the teams with 3 losses.
All right.
And if we were to order them. If we were to order them, I'm going 49ers, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys.
It pains me to say, but just in how they're playing, injury aside, 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles, Lions. Cowboys are rolling, man. I'm just.
That's disgusting.
But I haven't been wrong. So let's see next week because they play Sunday. So when the Cowboys beat the Eagles,
that's disgusting.
If the Cowboys beat the Eagles, there we go. But now that we've touched on all things
Niners
football,
play I don't know who they play the Ravens soon. Who do they play on Sunday?
We'll see.
The Niners play the Seahawks.
Have you? Because we've gotten to football. Have you watched any basketball?
Full games? No.
But you are aware that in this in-season tournament, it's now the Lakers and the Pelicans, and I believe the Pacers and the Bucks.
I am aware that this in-season tournament is the most confusing thing
coming out on top.
I got the Bucks
and the Lakers, or will the Pelicans somehow be Bron and the Brow?
Niners play the Seahawks, then they play the Cardinals, then the Ravens.
Still be a good.
Oh yeah, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's a division game too.
So, Bron and the Brow against the Bucks.
First and foremost, they're not.
Can Milwaukee be the young Indiana?
Milwaukee healthy is not losing to anybody else in this tournament.
Not the Lakers.
No,
not the Lakers.
No, LeBron's going to get his numbers, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen?
AD shows up.
AD is going to get dogged out by Bobby Portis. That's what's going to happen. Bobby Portis is going to own Anthony Davis.
You've been watching enough basketball. You've been brushing up on your Bobby Portis. That man knocked the man's jaw loose, and that was his teammate. Bobby Portis is a different breed.
Bobby Portis is going to make Anthony Davis look like a child, and Austin Reeves is, him and Dame are going to go at it, except Dame's going to have like 15 more points than him.
So you got the Bucks beating the Pacers.
Matter of
fact, Lakers beating the Pelicans.
Giannis is going to make Anthony Davis
without question. So they're going to beat their opponents, and then you have them facing each other in Vegas in the in-season tournament. Yeah. Who's the MVP of the tournament?
I haven't been watching the whole tournament. But if they're basing it off of that last game, I'm going to call it and say it's going to be Giannis. But the commentators and everybody's going to be like, oh, well, the performance LeBron put on.
If they're able to win it.
You know how I feel about LeBron.
If he do 40, 10, and 12 and they win it.
No, they're going to lose. But you know how I feel about LeBron.
They're going to lose to the Bucks.
You said what?
This is a different Bron. It's mid-season. If this was the finals in the summer, I would lean toward in 7 games, I would say the Bucks.
Mid-season,
but
he is for sure not winning the championship.
I'm sorry. Not
unless they start, which
I think this tournament is for him.
He's going to have to start taking games off
if they have it. Is for him
because he's not going to win it at the end of the season.
Right. So he wins this tournament. So I'm going to go Lakers. 10 and 12.
You know what? You're right. They did this just for him. He's going to win, and then after he retires, they're going to call the in-season MVP trophy the LeBron James MVP trophy.
There you go. 40, 10, and 12. You heard it here.
40, 10, 12. I give him 35.
Have you seen Godzilla -1 yet?
Not yet.
I have seen it. Don't sleep on it. It's a great movie. Subtitles the whole way through. So, if you watch any anime, you should be fine. Or if you're done hooked on phonics, you're good. But excellent movie. As somebody said, the Shawshank Redemption of monster movies. Right. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. That is Jason Jamerson. I am Shaun Manning. Anything you want to add? Because we're not talking hockey.
Well, I mean, the Red Wings did just get Patrick Kane.
There we go. So we will.
I don't even know what that means. I just saw it on my Bleacher Report. Well, I'm sorry for teasing y'all hockey fans to make you think I knew anything about it. I don't know the rules. But if somebody would like to teach me the rules of hockey, I did watch a game one time, and it was a playoff game.
You got to go to a game. The energy, you got to go to it.
I need to understand it because I don't want to be standing there just looking stupid.
You sit by the right person, they'll educate you real quick.
That's all I need. I need somebody to, because I was watching the game. It was a playoff game one year when it was a while ago. So the Red Wings were actually in the playoffs. And that game was live. And I'm like, yo.
In person, the energy it's amazing.
I had no idea what was happening until somebody scored. I was sitting there like, why do they keep hitting the puck all the way down there? Why do they keep going behind the net first? Like, I just kept yelling icing because I knew that was something. I was like, that's icing. I didn't know what it was. Okay. But it sounded like, something that was correct. And they put it on cake. So I figured it was a thing.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Icing. And apparently, checking in hockey is not the same as checking in street basketball. I was like, he ain't checking puck. He ain't checking in.